Right. Welcome back to part one. And we're back on our agenda item number 13. And this is around the Akatari business case, transport business case funding options. And I'll invite James McGill, our Senior Transport Planner, and Wahid Ahmed, our Principal Transport Planner. Welcome.
Kia ora, James McGill, Senior Transport Planner, joined by Wahid Ahmed, our Principal Transport Planner, first time in the chamber. So to keep this short, this is a paper looking at funding options around providing for an Akotari business case. We have an intersection we need to look at. NZTA has advised us we need to do a business case first. This presents options about either doing it this financial year, next financial year, or pushing it out to the next long-term plan. The recommendation is for this financial year, and that's based on the fact that Council has previously approved a reallocation of capital budget for next next financial year to address the first of the 4 intersections that need looked at as part of this business case. Happy to answer questions.
Thank you, James, and welcome, Wahid, to the chamber. And Councillor Wood.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, team. Just a few quick questions for clarification. So this is an NZTA controlled road, correct? Okay.
Correct.
So would they be building the intersection upgrade if we did this business case, or would we be building it?
No, they do not have any co-funding or funding available. The council had previously resolved to reallocate some of our capital expenditure to fund improvements at the intersection.
So we've got a growth plan, we've got NZTA requirements for subdivision enablement, we've got Plan Change G, all of which tell us these intersections need to be upgraded. We're going to upgrade them anyway. Why are we spending $400,000 on a business case?
Before NZTA will give us approval to spend the capital budget, they want us to effectively confirm that we are putting in place the right interventions. So making sure that if we're putting in a signalised intersection, that is the correct intervention that is needed over the long term.
Haven't NZTA already decided that that's the intervention, given they won't approve the subdivision consents without that upgrade happening?
So through the plan change process, it was identified through the traffic impact assessments that some form of upgrade was needed at the 4 intersections over a period of time, Old West Road being the first one and the main one we're looking at. What type of intervention, whether it's like a roundabout or a signalised intersection, that's effectively what the business case would confirm.
Apologies, my tone isn't toward you, James, it's toward the absurdity of the situation. So, given it's our money that would be being used to upgrade the intersections, could we just tell NZTA, no, this is what we're doing, here's the money, we're going to go do it? Like, it's not their process, they're not the ones building it.
I don't think NZTA would give us the approval to do the works if we didn't do this business case.
Okay. Have we reached out to the Minister's office to explain the absurdity of this situation? Given we've got a government that says they support growth and their ministry is telling us that we've got to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to enable growth that they won't fund, have we done any work at that level to see if we can get something across the line?
No, not specifically for this intersection.
Okay.
I can just say yes, we have from my office, but unfortunately it's fallen on deaf ears. Yeah. And anyway, I'll leave the comment. Sorry. Councillor Ballin.
Tēnā koroa, thank you. Just to follow on from that, so the purpose of the business case is not in this instance to establish the problem, it's to determine the type of intervention to be used and then get approval for that?
Any business case process always needs to make a case for change. There's evidence to say that there is a case for change through all the Plan Change G information. Effectively, the outcome of the business case would be what is the right intervention that we put in place at these intersections.
Yeah, so the case for change would have been well established by the fact that they have put that as a requirement for the growth plan.
Yes, that would need to be built into the strategic case. So luckily that information is there and we can leverage that existing information when we develop the business case.
So could NZTA not tell us what the appropriate interventions would be, and then we could do that, as opposed to this roundabout and quite expensive way that they're requiring us to do interventions?
So NZTA have told us that they want us to do the business case to identify that. So I guess that's their response in that matter, is that they're not willing to say whether it should be X intervention or Y intervention until we do a business case.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Councillor Fitzgerald.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Thanks, James. Welcome, Wahid. And to follow on from my colleagues, I'm still going to jump on this as well. And I get it what NZT have said, that we have to provide them with a business case. At $400,000, I imagine that business case was likely to contain some technical reporting from some engineers. Has any of that already exist through any consenting that we've already completed? Or is that still to be done as well?
There is information from Plan Change G and probably that we could take from the subdivision consents. I guess that information points to the fact that there is a problem. In terms of the solutions to the problem, that would be what we would explore as part of the business case. So we can leverage some of the information, just it doesn't allow us to do the whole business case with what we have.
Cool. Yeah. That answers my question. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Bowen.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Sorry, James, you're in the gun on this one, aren't you? It seems to me the difference between the three options is just about timing, and then with option 3, the potential of NZTA co-funding. So how much additional time if we go with option 2 versus option 1? Is it a whole year or is it not a whole year?
So effectively, option 1 has us funding it this financial year. Option 2 is next financial year, and option 3 is next LTP. We cannot, well, based on NZTA's advice and guidance around this and the way they want us to do it, we could not start the capital works until the business case is completed.
So option 1, you say, might not even be manageable in this financial year.
Option 1 will be tight.
Is that different to not being manageable? You think it's what's your percentage certainty on delivering in option 1 within this financial year?
It is possible. We could appoint a consultant through the infrastructure design panel. It's a fairly clear, I guess we've got a lot of evidence behind us. The options aren't widespread. It's effectively intersectional or roundabout is kind of what you're talking about. Maybe there's some softer measures, so it is achievable, but if there's any kind of lags in the process, then it could potentially fall into next financial year.
And then on option 3, with the opportunity for co-funding, what kind of certainty would we be looking at there?
So prior to preparing this, I did kind of ask NZTA some advice around this, and it's never a no, but against national priorities, it's not likely to be a yes. This is kind of the advice I was given.
It's never a no, but it's not likely to be yes. Okay. Right. I think that's my questions. Thanks, James.
Councillor Harpiter.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Thanks, James. Where did the figure of 400,000 come from to come up for a business case?
So the figure was kind of discussed by officers. It was a potential maximum that we could be looking at based on recent experience doing business cases.
So it's not scientific, there's nothing,
We don't have an estimate or a quote for it, no.
that's just a guess.
Based on current business cases being worked on, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Zabellin.
Thank you for letting me come back into the queue. I just had one more, which was about the program 1003, which was the Whakarongo intersection funding that we transferred in the annual budget to this program. And am I right that that was about 167,000 budget that was transferred?
I might refer this one to the GM Infrastructure.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, so I think the paper had a link through to the report from the the earlier deliberations on the annual budget for this year. My recollection was there was, in the order of, well, the decisions that were made as part of the annual budget reallocated the capital program for Whakaronga Stony Creek across 3 years. There was about $5 million over 3 years reallocated from one program to another to focus on initially actually the James Line Napier Road intersection and then the Akotiri intersections in the following 2 and 3 years. So the first Akotiri intersection I think was approximately $2 million starting in year 3. So I'm being generic, but
No, it's a helpful reminder because I was just looking at the annual budget line for this year. Okay, thank you. So the amount that was transferred into this financial year, will that money make up part of this 400,000 and the rest of it would be sourced elsewhere? Or is this additional?
sorry. So the earlier reallocation was capital. So this is operating. So this is unfortunately new money.
I understand. Cool. Thank you very much.
Councillor Bowen.
Sorry to come back in, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to, if possible, seek a comment on the subdivision consents that are currently not enabled. So the Terra Civil and the second Brian Green. What communication have we had with them, and what's their view on timelines?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So the subdivisions, apart from the 9 lots which has been approved, Brian Green, small Brian Green one, the next 2 major subdivision proposals from both Brian Green and Terra Civil are effectively on hold at the moment. So they both the applicants and the council are aware that the position is we cannot issue those subdivision consents at present. However, if the business case is approved and we have a good understanding of the physical works that are required, the discussions with the developers have been that we could approve the subdivisions conditional on the works being done, and then both the council and the applicant would be aware, or those subdivisions would be approved conditional on those works being done, knowing that we have budget and a positive business case. So effectively what would happen then is that the subdivision works are happening at the time as we're building the intersections. Sorry, that was a...
That did make sense, thank you. I suppose my question is there intention to go ahead with those subdivisions as soon as they get the consent, or is there a longer time frame in play?
Yeah, if we issue the consents conditional on these intersections happening, they will then proceed with the physical works. So all the earthworks, so it takes them 12 months to do all the earthwork subdivisions. At the same time, we would be building the intersections.
Okay, thanks, David.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. That's our questions gone. So, colleagues, we've got recommendations to council there on the Country business case and funding options from the officers. One is that council approve up to 400,000 of unbudgeted operational expenditure for professional services in the 25-26 financial year to complete the Country business case, option 1. 2, that council increase the cap on the professional services budget in the 25-26 financial year by 400,000. I'm going to move that. Seconded by the Deputy Mayor. And look, colleagues, this is, I can understand the frustration, I have it as well. We do risk closing off that part of the city, and I think David Murphy just said that we, basically consents can't happen, we can't do anything there on that side until there is some intervention around transport. We desperately need to get in front of NZTA again, in front of the CEO, Chair Simon Bridges and the Minister, it is quite bizarre that there's no work going to happen on this very important state highway intersection, and it's not even on a priority list till 2029, 2030 plus. So it wouldn't happen in other cities, I don't believe, and so we've got to bang the table. We have tried, and unfortunately, it's fallen on deaf ears. Look, there is hope that this sort of approach can be successful. There has been precedent of this sort of option happening before with the Eastern Diversion Highway around Lake Taupo. The Taupo District Council went ahead with some work because the then Transport Agency wouldn't do it, and they managed to claw it back afterwards. I'm hoping we can do the design work, the professional services work before we get into any physical construction work, and we might be able to get some ministerial or CEO intervention, but it does really block off the whole part of the city from any growth. I mean any, not one section being approved. So this is our only way out of that. So I hope you will support it. There being nobody else in the queue, oh sorry, Councillor Naylor.
Just to briefly say that, no, I can't support this. I feel that this is something that does need some stronger advocacy before we invest unbudgeted budget this year. So my preference would be definitely option 2, just to give that time.
Oh, you're on. Oh. Try it again. Are you wanting to speak? No. Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Councillor Bowen.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. You'll have got from my questions, I really don't like this, but I really don't see what other option we've got. I think it's one of those Gordian knot kind of things. NZTA have got us over a barrel. I feel like it's the government that's got us over a barrel. On the one hand, requiring growth and putting pressure on councils to plan for growth, and at the same time, through their agency, not providing the funding to unlock the growth that council's working very hard to deliver. It's incredibly frustrating. I'm almost tempted to say you shouldn't negotiate with terrorists. I didn't say that, so I was tempted to say it. We need their support for the development. They have to approve it, but they won't fund it. They won't fund the business case that they require for us to do the work on their road. It's just perverse. But really, what choice do we have? It's incredibly frustrating, and so I'll vote for it, but through gritted teeth.
Yes, I can understand, councillors. Just in a writer reply, if we'll keep advocating, but we're backs against the wall here, and the developers up there who are well versed in delivering housing and sections for us cannot do anything now. So please ask for your support. Thank you. We will vote. And it has passed 15 votes for, 1 against. All right, we'll move through now to number 14, 15 and 16, and this is around our low carbon fund allocations, our citywide emissions inventory and annual report from 2024, and yes, an annual report. And just encourage, we've got 3, Adam, David and Sabrina, welcome. Page 255 of your papers.
Good afternoon, Your Worship, councillors. Adam Jarvis Manager, Climate Change and Sustainability. Yes, 3 reports in front of you. Just very briefly, the the organisational emissions continuing a previous trend and a good decline in gross emissions, now sharply into net negative, as we've discussed previously. The citywide emissions essentially carrying on previous trends and have, that is to say, flatlining with a mild per capita decline. You'll note in the first report, paper 9, that there is a 37, I believe, have I got that correct? Yeah, 37% increase in electricity emissions, resulting from a relatively dry year and the dams in the South Island not producing as much electricity, and then that being offset by other sources and gas and so forth. So the citywide emissions mild increase there should be taken in that context, and we may well see a decline in future as that normalises. Finally, the organisational emissions decline that we're seeing, a lot of it based on the great work that's been going on across the council, driving efficiency gains, moving off of gas and petrol, diesel, and into electric, much of that funded through the Low Carbon Fund. With that, my staff are here, so happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thanks, Adam.
I've got a master device.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I just have a question about the Low Carbon Fund. So we haven't managed to spend the full amount, only maybe sort of 2/3 of it, perhaps. Have we got the right sort of value on that fund? Are we over provisioned in the Low Carbon Fund? Is that an area that we could make a saving on in a future budget?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it's a question for you in part. I'd remind councillors that 2 things. Firstly, money not spent through the fund isn't borrowed. So, although there is an implication through the annual plan and so forth, the money itself is not spent. If it's not spent, it's not borrowed. Secondly, there was an allocation made this year for a investigations budget that's enabled us to do a lot more work in shifting from the relatively low-hanging fruit that we've had early on in the fund to more in-depth work. So you'll note that there's significantly more projects that have been completed in the last financial year compared to previous years, and in this case actually in the order of doubling. And there's a large backlog of work that we're kind of processing at the moment that's just requiring a significantly more investigations in terms of particularly solar. We're understanding the implications for roof strength and so on, and working through the electrical systems. We believe that there's a lot of opportunity out there still for investment. It's just all takes a lot longer than simply purchasing, say, 6 electric vehicles, which can be done in the space of several months after we're satisfied the numbers stack up.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but I guess it's been a common theme that not, the whole of the Low Carbon Fund hasn't been spent in sort of, a number of years that we've had it. Is it capital expenditure or is it operational?
The sort of $1 million headline is capital. There is I believe, $45,000 operational budget associated with the program for investigations.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks, Adam. My line of questioning is probably a little bit the flip side of what you've just been responding to, but just would be interested in your views and what you can tell us about kind of economics of solar versus the kind of price increases that we're seeing around gas and electricity, and is there a case for us to be rolling things out faster and at a larger scale in solar, or is that still a ways off?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, elected members that have been here some time may recall that years ago I was consistently advising against the application of solar to council buildings. The economics of that shifted quite dramatically, and I can pass you to my colleague David to outline some of that detail around that. The difficulty here is just that, like I just said previously, most of our sites were not designed with solar in mind. The structural loading and so forth, there's just inevitably a lot to work through. And so we believe the scale of the opportunity is significant and in the order of millions of dollars of capital investment, returning multiple millions of dollars of operational returns in addition to the carbon benefits. But that in the first instance, it's going to take some time to, and it's going to take more time to realise than swapping out petrol vehicles with electric ones. Secondly, so there was a 2 points. Secondly, I would say that every trend that we see is that scale of that opportunity is growing as the price of solar panels continues to decline.
Great, thank you. Mr. Mayor.
All right, that's questions done. So thank you, the three of you. So we've got recommendations to council there. One, that the council note the Palmerston City Council organisational emissions have fallen from 15,684 CO2 in 23-24 to 14,399 in 24-25, an 8% reduction. Two, council note the Palmerston City Council's organisational emissions have fallen from 26,444 CO2 tonnes in 15-16 to now 14,399 in 24-25, yeah, a 46% reduction. And three, that council note the total net emissions for Palmerston City for 2024 were 784,501 CO2 tonnes, which is a 20,950 CO tonnes increase compared to 23, and a 63,347 CO2 tonnes decrease since the 2016-2017 baseline. The council received the memo titled Update on the Low Carbon Fund 24-25, presented today, 8th October 2025. I'm happy to move that, seconded by the Deputy Mayor. If there are any comments, just want to thank the officers for the work. It continues, I mean, the challenge obviously is the wider city, and that's everybody's challenge, but it's what we can control as an organisation has been pretty impressive, and without really this behaviour stuff and tweaking here and there, I suspect the low-hanging fruit's all gone and we're into the harder stuff now, hence an 8% reduction, but it's still an 8% reduction and it all adds up. So thank you to the team, and yeah, keep up the good work. All right, nobody speaking, we'll vote. Has passed unanimously, 16 votes for, none against. Thank you. All right, up to number 17, and that is our last for the day. So it's the a couple of under mayoral delegation, a couple of submissions to government. One around the local government system improvement amendment bill, and the online gambling submission. And Grace Knock, our Manager of Organisational Planning and Performance, will speak to these. It's page 277 of your papers. Grace.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Councillors. Grace Knock, Manager of Organisational Planning and Performance. happy to take this report as read and answer any questions.
It's late in the day. There are no questions. Thank you, Grace. Two fairly important submissions that, especially one on our own local government systems improvement bill. But look, the recommendation to council there, we received the report titled Local Government Systems Improvement Amendments Bill and Online Gambling Submissions approved under mayoral delegation presented today, 8th of October 2025. Happy to move that. Councillor Hancock's in the minutes again as seconding it. Colleagues, we'll see where this all goes. They're both, obviously the first one's more important, but the second one, if there is online gambling, comes into being. Watch the community funding disappear. So I hope you can support these, and I'll put it to the vote. Thank you. And it's passed 16 votes for and none against. That is us for today, and before 5 o'clock. So well done to everybody. And as this is our last meeting of the term, can I thank formally you all for the last 3 years and the good nature on which everybody has behaved. It's been it's been a pleasure to be in the room with you. Can I acknowledge Wade and the wider management team and all the other officers that have presented papers to us over that time. Could I also acknowledge Hannah and your team for guiding us through governance-wise and management as well. I'll just, in a moment, I'll just ask the Deputy Mayor to close us with karakia, but you've earned an orange juice afterwards if you'd like one. Thank you. All right, I'll go to you, Deputy Mayor.
Sorry?
Councillor McLeod.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor. Is it, if you'll allow me to just say a few words before?
Well, we'd already done all that, but yes, okay.
Cool. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Apologies for jumping in the queue very late. I think it would be remiss of me not to actually also thank you for your leadership over the last 3 years. Also acknowledging the staff, the chief executive. I think I have to say, I mean, I've only been on the council, this is my second term, but I think this is, I would say, is the healthiest council I've been a part of, personally. And I think also the collegiality of and the friendship that that we've been able to forge over the last 3 years, the respect amongst colleagues has been very great as well. So, and also want to thank Wade for steering the ship. And I don't think we've had any sort of major issues or anything. And no, we haven't actually. It's been very peaceful. So I just want to also acknowledge the Mayor for the last 3 years, also for keeping us all in shape and that sort of thing. So, and to my colleagues, best of luck for the election. And whoever comes back on this table, we'll leave it up to the community. But thank you.
Thank you. Now, I don't want to start anything, but I'll go back to you, to the Deputy Mayor. Thank you.
Tēnā koe, Your Worship. Ngā mihi nui ki a koe o te rā ki a koutou katoa. As I normally conclude with this, I think it's a nice karakia. Tēnā tātou, ko oti pai a tātou mahi. Mō tēnei wā, our work is finished for this moment in time. Hoki ora koutou ki o koutou kāinga. Return well and happy to your homes. Kia noho haumaru koutou. Stay safe, stay well. And mā ngā tūpuna, tātou katoa e manaaki e te aki. And may all our ancestors and our whānau look after us and watch over us. e mā te runga rawa, tātou katoa e manaaki e te ake, and may we all be blessed. Tēnā koutou, kia ora.
Kia ora. Thank you, everybody.